Unlock the door to a brand new start. Learn the language, make it art. Bitcoin's calling, can you hear the sound? Blockchain's building, let's break new ground. 5 days to change your mind. 5 steps to redefine. Your future's waiting, so let's align. Education is key. Education is everything. The ILCA is where it begins, with Martin the castle leading the way. 5 days to learn, 5 days to play. 5 days to play. No need for fear, just bring your spark. Crypto knowledge lights the dark. Ivy League wisdom, steady and true. A challenge for me, a challenge for you. Dive in, don't hesitate. The future's here, don't be late. Your journey's now, your time won't wait. Education is key. Education is everything. The ILCA is where it begins, with Martin the castle leading the way. 5 days to learn, 5 days to play. 5 days to play. 5 days to play.
Yeah. They tried to lock the future behind closed doors, but he found the keys and he gave them to us. This one's for the people. This one's for Brandon Ivey. He came from pain, he came from the fall. When the world shut down, he stood tall. Lost it all in 2008, but real ones rise, they don't fall, they elevate. He walked away from the chains of the past. Corporate suits never meant to last. He saw the truth in a digital spark. Bitcoin lit the flame in the dark. Now he's teaching the block, teaching the youth, giving us tools, giving us truth. Out here where the blind find sight. Crypto in the hands of the people tonight. Calling Bitcoin Brandon, the voice we need. Planting crypto roots like a freedom seed. He gave us the keys, now we open the door to a future we own, and so much more. He said, you don't need a broker to build a legacy. You just need the knowledge and the courage to be free. 15 lessons, 10 courses deep, from DeFi to Web3. He taught us to keep, no more begging, no more waiting on aid. We building wallets and winning the trade. From South Central to the global stage, he flipped the chapter, he turned the page. No hype, no scam, no silver spoon lies, just truth, transparency, blockchain ties. He ain't just talking about coins and gains, he talking about breaking generational chains. Now he's teaching the block, teaching This ain't just education, it's elevation, it's liberation. This is ILCA. He's teaching the block, teaching the truth, from truth to the freedom, from silence to speech. Now every soul he touched can teach. Call him Bitcoin Brandon, a fire, a spark, lighting up futures that once were dark. He gave us the keys, now we open the door again forever. We soar. He gave us the key, now we got the floor. We don't follow the system, we built something more. We gave us the key, we gave us the key. We don't follow the system, we built something more.
Education is key, it's the lock, it's the door. Unlocking your future is what we're here for.
Brandon Ivey's got the plan, the vision so tight. Teaching Bitcoin, blockchain, shining the light.
5 days, 5 ways to open your mind.
ILCA challenges are your time to grind. Yeah.
Learn the code, learn the chain.
Bitcoin flows in your brain.
5 days is all it takes.
Future's yours, make no mistake.
Beginners welcome, no need to fear. Blockchain's the future is already here.
Crypto Academy leading the ride.
Brandon's the captain, come on inside. It's tech, it's power, it's changing the game.
5 days to knowledge, you'll never be the same.
Education is everything, it's how we grow.
Join the challenge, let the whole world know. Learn the code, learn the chain.
Learn the code, learn the chain.
Bitcoin flows in your brain.
Bitcoin flows in your brain. 5 days is all it takes.
Tick tock, new block.
They tried to lock the future behind closed.
We're painting futures on the canvas now. Keys in the chain and the street know how. Brandon Ivey gave the blueprint out. ILCA, we the way.
Yeah, we got stories in the chain, pain in the page.
Then we taught the block how to break out the cage.
Shoot up from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
Till we chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turned gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plan.
This the canvas and chain,
where the truth began, yeah. Came from a system that said don't ask why. Now I'm drawing on a ledger, watch the value rise. Brandon Ivey, yeah, the name lightweight. Taught the hood how to walk through that crypto gate. Used to juggle bills like I'm flipping dice. Now I'm teaching about wallets and security rights. 15 lessons deep in the class with kings. ILCA got them changing what freedom means. Nah, no cap, just coded math and grace. Help the block find light in the darkest place. It's more than coin, it's my elevation. Legacy talk, not just market fluctuations. I ain't looking for likes, I'm looking for keys. So my fam don't starve in the system disease. Brandon built what the schools left behind. Now we bank in the pocket with the sharpest minds. Yeah, we got stories in the chain, pain in the page.
we taught the block how to break out the cage.
So from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
Now we chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turned gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plan.
It's the canvas and chain, where the truth began. Used to doubt what I knew, now I lead in rooms. Flipping fear into fuel, got receipts and zooms. From the block where the lights flicker out by noon, to trading coins with my son while we watch cartoons. Ivy said, don't wait, the power is yours. So I opened up a wallet, then I opened new doors. Now I walk like I'm wealthy even when it's tight, cause I'm stacking slow motion with that crypto light. Smart chain runner, got vision like hawks. ILCA, turn the silence into loud talks. No suit, no loans, just sweat and smarts. Now I'm living off plays that were taught from the heart. It ain't a flex, it's a formula clean for the girl with the dreams and a crack phone screen. Now I teach my sisters how to build their lane, and Brandon Ivey gave the code to change the game.
We got stories in the chain, pain in the page.
Ivy taught the block how to break out the cage.
Shoot up from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
Now we chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turned gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plan.
It's the canvas and chain,
where the truth began. Taught the block how to break out the cage.
He got from broke to woke, we ain't chasing fame.
Now we chasing wallets with our name in the frame.
ILCA, where the grind turned gold.
Crypto in the soul, now the world on hold.
Built it from nothing but a prayer and plain.
It's the canvas and chain,
where the truth began. Legacy in motion, knowledge in the air. Brandon Ivey, ILCA, everywhere. From the canvas to the chain, we there.
We're the movement, ILCA stand tall. Crypto in our blood, yeah, we answer the call. From the ground to the crown, we gon' rise, never fall. Power in the people, that's the strength of us all.
Started with a vision. Brandon lit that spark from the 9-to-5 grind to a crypto landmark. Ivy League Crypto Academy, building the flame, teaching wealth, teaching power, we're changing the game. Marnita Casa, the queen connectress, linking dreams with the hustle, building up the next list. Jenna Leonard, Wild Bill, Crazy Carla, bring the storm. Rita B, Patty, Judy, Catherine, breaking norms.
Donna, CJ, Dagmar, Diane got the grind. Christina, Jamal, Melanie, Sandy, sharp minds. Dorothy, Elijah, Matthew, Keith, we don't rest. Samantha, Stan, Claire, Vogue, Jacqueline, the best.
We're the movement, ILCA stand tall. Crypto in our blood, yeah, we answer the call. From the ground to the ground, we gon' rise, never fall. Power in the people, that's the strength of us all. That's the strength of us all. That's the strength of us all.
Kenny with the focus, Maggie bringing fire, Judy double shining, taking goals higher. From small dreams to empire, step by step, turning vision into gold with the plan we kept. We craft the strategies, execute the mission, bridge the gap from dream to full acquisition. Not hype, not luck, just precision and grind. Community strong with a millionaire mind.
From the shadows to the light, we claim our space. Every setback just fuels the chase. Linked by vision, trust and drive, ILCA keeps the dream alive.
We're the movement, ILCA stand tall. Crypto in our blood, yeah, we answer the call. From the ground to the crown, we gon' rise, never fall. Power in the people, that's the strength of us all. We're the movement.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our day 3 of the ILCA 5-day challenge. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I will be your humble hostess for today. Now, there is something that I always like to say, and that is we totally understand there are so many different things you can be doing with your time. My goodness, the nighttime is the right time for family and for preparation of the next day. So the fact that you guys decided to come on out and hear what we have to say, of course, that always makes us so very happy. And this is absolutely the place you need to be. Now, let me tell you something. You got to get here early because we have some ILCA music that are being played for us. And let me tell you, my mom, I have this blasting throughout the house because the kids need to hear it. Hubby needs to hear it. Everybody gets to hear the 5-day challenge. But my mom is in the kitchen and, you know, the song is going and we like it. And I hear this woman go, ILCA. I was like, hold up. That's what I'm talking about. That is ILCA love. So welcome each and every one of you. We have a power-packed evening ready and scheduled for you guys. Man, if you've missed the first 2 days, you missed out on a little bit, but that's okay. You can always check us out on YouTube and watch the recordings. We talked about what is the blockchain. We got a chance to sit down with the Ivey family. I'm talking mom, dad, sons, brother was all here. It was phenomenal. And then the day after that, yesterday, we learned about what is cryptocurrency. And today I am so super excited, you guys. For those of you that know, oh, you know, the professor is back in the house. And whenever, yes, Whenever the professor is in the house, my goodness, we always have such a fire show. Now, I'm going to tell you, my friends on YouTube, hello, everyone. How are you guys? I'm going to tell you guys tonight, if there is any night that you need to be on the VIP side where you get the opportunity to ask questions, tonight is the night, because not only will you have the opportunity to ask questions of the educator himself, but now you have the professor there that can answer some questions for you guys. So if you are interested in absolutely becoming a member and joining us here on the cool side, all you have to do is go to ilca.app. And you will have all the information you need to be able to become a member, just like these wonderful people here. Hello, my VIPs. How are you? Thank you guys so very much for being here with us. It is always great to see you. Now, you guys know the routine. Type your name and where you are from in that chat box. That way I get a chance to tell everybody who is on the cool side with us. And if you have the opportunity, please turn on your cameras. One of the best parts about being on a Zoom call like this, we get a chance to see all your faces, see those beautiful smiles. So first up, of course, is Miss Carla Arrigo. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? Tonight, she is representing St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys, Miss Carla Arrigo is actually an ILCA partner. So if you are interested in purchasing any of our courses or even joining our membership, all you got to do is go to bebestyoucan.com. And you'll be able to join the inner circle right there through our partner, Carla's website. Carla, thank you for everything that you are doing. Of course, next up, we have the beautiful Miss Samantha. Hello, sweetheart. It's so good to see you. Samantha is our second ILCA certified coach. We are so very proud of you, sweetheart. The first one is Miss Rita B. She is actually here right now. She's coming on in from San Diego, California. There she is. Hello, Queen. How are you? Our first two ILCA certified coaches are what? Are women. Hey, girls rule the world. I'm loving this. You guys actually get ready, because next month is going to be an all-lady 5-day challenge. So you know the ladies are coming and we bring in the heat. So be ready. So to Samantha, mwah, and Rita B, mwah, congratulations, you two. We are so very proud of your success. Up next, we have the beautiful Miss Catherine Clement. Hello, Queen. How are you? Miss Catherine Clement is another superstar lady in our community. She is actually leading the way when it comes to a opportunity. I was going to say a purchase, an opportunity that we had decided to be in called MoveQuest. She is our liaison and she is out there kicking butt. Catherine, thank you for everything that you are doing for us and this community. You are greatly appreciated. Of course, Elijah Morgan's in the house. Hi, Elijah. How are you, baby? Thank you so very much for being here. It is always good to see you. Mr. Nathan Hansberger is in the house. He's coming on in from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to try to get everybody because I missed some people yesterday. So let me go through this quick. We got Michael Aluko is in the house. Hi, baby. How you doing? There is William Duzinski. Hello, my friend. How are you? Judy E is coming on in from Canada. Hello, Queen. I see Tammy Lee Gully is in the house. Hi, baby. She is coming on in from Tampa, Florida. We have Carla Rigo. Samantha's there. Janelle Appling is coming on in from Colorado. I see we have Miss Patty Guy. She's representing San Diego, California. There's Jacqueline Briggs. We have Donovan Ivey. Hello, young king. How are you? It's good to see you back for day 3. That's what I'm talking about. It's so good. I see you, Chris. How are you? It is so very good to see you young gentlemen here. That is one of the highlights of the evening. And of course, there, my friend, his name is Elton. Hi, baby. How are you? Thank you so very much for being here. As you guys can see, the energy is flowing. We are feeling good. And the man of the hour is here. I am talking about the professor himself, Mr. Oscar Sistrunk. Professor, thank you so very much for being here with us. It has been a while and we are super excited to hear what you have to say. There he is. Hello, King. Thank you so much for being here. It is so very good to see you. It's been way too long. We're very, very happy to have you here. So Yes, I'm going to quit running my mouth because we all want to hear from from the professor. So let's go ahead and get our party started again. Thank each and every one of you for joining us on our ILCA 5-day challenge. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I'm your humble hostess for today. Now, it is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology. I see you, Mr. Rodney Nickens, on YouTube. I didn't want to not say hi. Hello, sir. It's good to have you here. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life. I see you, CJ. I was wondering where you were. He dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, but he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out and share his information with the masses. And this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built thriving communities and wonderful platforms like you see before you today. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right, all right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa. And I got to give it back to you. Miss Casa is our lovely hostess for our 5-day challenge. And anything that we do at ILCA, she's been here from the beginning and taking time out of her schedule as a mother and a wife and a business owner herself to be able to serve all of you guys in this community. One of our leading ladies here for ILCA, and I'm excited that she has her family listening as well. As I've been stating that this week, this should be the week of your family for the 5-day challenge. I had my parents on earlier this week. Both my sons are still on today, and I said it the other day that I'm very, very big on legacy. I'm a Morehouse man, and that is something that has been drilled on us from our very first week of matriculation at the very beginning for our journey at Morehouse College as a freshman to what is expected of us in legacy. And I say this too, even if you have young children, the way I can break this down to my youngest son, who's a huge Marvel fan. If you guys remember Iron Man, and I think it was Iron Man 2 or 3, where Tony Stark was going through boxes and found old film of his father. And he Tony was just a little kid at the time. And then at the end of the clip, all of a sudden his father says, Tony, and he starts speaking to Tony, but Tony as an adult, not Tony as a kid. So I say this even to my sons right now. I am not speaking to you right now. I'm not speaking to 18-year-old Donovan. I'm speaking to 35-year-old Donovan and 45-year-old Donovan and 50-year-old Christopher. Why? Because when you're older, you will appreciate and understand what I'm saying and everything that I'm doing right now. And social media and technology has us to a point where we're able to not only educate, people of today, but also people of tomorrow directly through our words and not something that could be manipulated through history books and history being changed and written in different ways. We can do it ourselves. And so I'm not teaching just one generation. I am teaching multiple generations beyond me and my descendants. And I encourage all of you guys to start looking at things that way and doing the same thing. I know the professor is. So speaking of the professor, we have not had the professor up in the last couple of months. We haven't had any speakers in the last couple of months. We've been busy doing traveling and doing live events. So I wanted to make sure, especially at this time, as we're coming up on the 18th month cycle of the Bitcoin halving and mass institutional adoption of cryptocurrency, especially dealing in the DeFi space. I think that 2026 is going to be an explosive year for that. And those of you in our inner circle, we have already been seeing the moves of BlackRock and Van Eck and Fidelity, Gemini and Ripple, and all the other even the of banks like Deutsche Bank. All are making moves to be able to have and offer institutional tokens for tokenization of real world assets using blockchain technology for their customers. And it is a 180 flip from what they were saying just a few years ago. And there's nobody better to talk about this than my own professor from my alma mater, Morehouse College. And I don't want to hear nothing. I know that our football team has been getting spanked lately. That's not what we're known for. Also, Morehouse College just got ranked at number 3 top HBCU. I don't know why it's not number 1. Spelman's got number 1. Howard's got number 2. and Morehouse is number 3. And I got to give it up for Howard as well. Howard is having a Black Blockchain Expo. I think it's their 8th one. I was invited to be a speaker on that. I cannot make it live, but I did record something for them, so I'm excited about that. But I want to bring up Professor Oscar Sistrunk, who is not only a Morehouse alumni, but a teacher of there for multiple decades of young men. And he's got knowledge and expertise in this space, one of the first to even bring it as a college professor to start teaching his students. So with that, I know Professor just came out of a live speaking event that he was already at for the last couple of hours. And so I appreciate that he's able to take time out of his schedule to be here with all of you guys and to share his knowledge. So Professor, the floor is all yours. Oh, I gotta make sure he can unmute himself. My bad. Hold on one second. There you go. You should be able to unmute now.
Unmute.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Hey, thank you. You got me locked up I couldn't unmute myself. I was wondering what was going on. But good. Thank you for having me. I'll be stationary here in a minute, but yes, I had a presentation over at Morehouse today, and it ended, and then I am headed on over to the house for a minute, and just got caught up with too much traffic. But you know how Atlanta traffic is.
Absolutely.
It is, I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know how you can have traffic at 8 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. But that's how it goes. But anyway, I'm glad to be here with you and to talk about Bitcoin. As you know, you're right about the upcoming halving, and well, not halving, but the 4-year cycle and where we are. Let me say something. This may be, well, let me look at it. Let me say this, because I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Normally during this 4-year cycle, we're closing in on what we call the blow off top, which is where we kind of max out for the 4-year cycle and then begin our descent in probably around January or February of, in this case, 26. But the economy is in such bad shape, and Bitcoin has not been around during a really major recession. You remember, Bitcoin came out after the 2008 collapse. I think we're headed for a really bad economic period. And even though I had predicted that the blow off top would be fourth quarter, October or November, maybe December, this is me personally. This is, how do you say, this is not investment advice. You should contact your investment advisor. But for me, I think that we may have kind of reached the top. I don't think people out there, look at what's going on in real estate. Look at what's going on in terms of people being able to have money to pay for essentials, food, housing, utilities. This time in the last 4-year cycle of 21, people were kind of swimming in that PPP money and that EDI money. And, we topped off a little early in April of 21, came back and did kind of like a double top in about October of 2021. And this time, I'm not sure. So I may be a little bit of a wet blanket this time and being a little cautious. But normally I would say that, but I think we're headed for some really difficult financial times. And I think it may be showing off first in real estate, and then it's showing off in cryptocurrency. Gold, as you can see, is really taking off, which people are kind of flowing money to. But everybody else, the stock market's kind of hanging in there, but I don't know. So I'm being very cautious right now. But in general, if we back up and we talk about that 4-year cycle, then if you looked at the last 3 or 4 cycles, we are in a period of where, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then of course the altcoins should be taking off between now and about December. So I'm just wanted to say that I'm a little bit hesitant right now because of what I see going on out there in the general market, the economy, and just the United States in general. What I really wanted to talk about was something else I've been working on, because I'm always, as Mr. Ivey said, been look towards the future. And as he said, I started talking about Bitcoin in my classes back in 2014 when Bitcoin was $68 a coin. And I remember telling students that they should buy a Bitcoin. I said, instead of taking that young lady from Spelman out to dinner and a movie, why don't you just take her, go somewhere and watch Netflix and chill? Take that money and buy a Bitcoin, because you never know what might happen. And I remember in 2019, students coming to me and saying, one day Bitcoin will be $100,000. And that was back when Bitcoin was about 3,000. And that's, I don't know about $100,000. But I had a student show me the numbers, and sure enough, here we are 6 years later, and he was correct. So I think long-term cryptocurrency is the big play. But I think longer term, the big play is what I call the blockchain. I see more and more opportunities for the blockchain replacing a lot of different services in this economy. And one thing I've been doing is I ended up hiring a young man to teach me programming, teach me Python. And what I'm doing is I am building blockchain bots to go out there and earn money for me, and then send that money to my crypto wallet. What I'm really doing is, for us who are old enough, we remember growing up, they talked about robots, and that one day we would have robots, and these robots would be doing things that people did. And I'm seeing more and more robots out there now doing things that people used to do. And our assumption was that these robots would be built and they'd be owned by companies or the government, and people would be losing their jobs. They wouldn't have anything to do. I don't think that's the case. I think what happens is people can learn how to build not physical robots, maybe, but why can't you build virtual robots? Why can't you now learn how to program robots, put them out on the blockchain, and just sit out there 24/7 and program them looking for opportunities to make money? Whether it's liquidation bots, whether it's robots, whether these bots are out there looking for inefficiencies in the market and taking advantage of them, using something called the flash loan to take advantage of these opportunities. I just think that's the long-term play, that the blockchain is not just about cryptocurrency, but it's also about how to find information and take advantage of that information. And you could have a bot programmed to do that. And you say, well, how can you do that? Well, you can learn how to do it, but there's also something called AI, ChatGPT, Claude, and other programs out there. If you really work, I'm really learning and trying to use ChatGPT more and more. So this student that's working with me, or really a teacher, I'm learning how to create bots using ChatGPT, AI, going through them and analyzing them, and then putting them on the blockchain to make money for me. Even if it sits out there and makes $2, $3 a day. Well, if I can do one blockchain, if I can do one bot on one blockchain, why couldn't I do 100 bots on different blockchains? There's hundreds of blockchains out there. Think about it. It doesn't have to be on Ethereum, right, with smart contracts. It could be on Solana. It could be a lot of different blockchains. You could have multiple robots or bots, right, sitting out there, virtual bots, that when they find opportunities, they make a little bit of money for you and then put that money in your wallet. And over time, before you know it, you wake up every morning and there's money sitting in your wallet. How much? I don't know. Could be hundreds, could be thousands a day. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. So back in 2014, if you heard me talk about Bitcoin at $68, and he said, oh, he's talking crazy. Here I am in 2025 talking about blockchain bots written in Python or Viper, which is the new language I'm also learning, or C+, or any of these others that sit out there and connect to your wallet, earn money for you 24/7, 365, and put that money or that currency into your wallet. That's where I think it's headed to. So, and I always think this is a good time when we go into a bad economy. I'm telling people, hold on to your cash, hold on to your wealth, because there's going to be some great deals in cryptocurrency, real estate, and everything else as we hit bottom and bounce back up. Back in 07, 06, I was talking about the same thing. And then when the collapse in 08 came, I was ready. As a matter of fact, I had liquidated all my real estate in 07, thinking that something was getting ready to happen, and it did. So I'm thinking 2026 could be a really bad year, and so I'm holding my powder dry, waiting. But in the meanwhile, now's the time to learn about these other opportunities. Whoop, my light went out. There it goes. Thank you. And so that's my long-term goal as it relates to, I'm an Ethereum person. So as an Ethereum person, and I think that I've kind of, that this $4,800 or high 4,000s might have been another, we may not go way beyond. People are talking about Ethereum reaching $10,000. I don't see where that money comes from. I just don't see it. And companies are pulling back. They're reducing employment opportunities. You know, they're getting rid of, basically they're getting rid of the staff. Retail establishments are closing, restaurants are closing, banks are closing. It's really a difficult time. So I don't see where the money is for crypto to really take off again. And if not, what I do is I use decentralized finance and I kind of short the market and just wait for the downward movement probably in 2026, and then get ready. Hopefully the economy does turn really bad. It's already bad in my opinion, but really turns bad, and then buy towards the bottom and wait for it to come back. In the meanwhile, always try and get educated. I recommend everybody, now's the time. If you've got a little bit, as you save your cash, invest your cash in education. That's what I'm doing. Learning about these bots, learning about different kind of blockchains, and kind of figuring out how, when this cycle comes back, I can begin to benefit from blockchain and the movement of everything to the blockchain. So this is an education period. This is a period to keep, not take a whole lot of risk. Store your cash, or however you want to store it. I'm not great about storing it in dollars. For me, I'm storing it in crypto. Again, Ethereum. So I'm storing, and I'm storing my money in stable coin. So I have my money in USDC in my wallet, and I'm putting it out to earn interest for me, because I can make more interest doing that than putting it in the bank, and just kind of wait and see what happens. And that's basically my opinion for today. But if anybody has any questions, or if you'd like me to talk some more about crypto bots, I'd love to talk to you. I could talk as a professor, I could talk all day.
Well, we got to
And I
keep
don't,
you if you can stay around for at the end, Professor Sistrunk, for Q&A, because I'm sure
oh
you just set it off right there. People's eyebrows went up when you said the bots. So I know there's a
yeah,
lot of people that's going to want to know about that.
yes, I'd love to talk to him about it. As a matter of fact, I've got my first liquidation bot sitting out on the Ethereum blockchain. But guess what? I'm on a test net. So I'll let you know that you can, as you learn to build these bots, you put the bot on a test net, which is similar to the actual blockchain and acts the same way, but it's not real money. It is funny because I'm testing it with 1,000 Ethereum. So I've got $4.8 million sitting out in my wallet, and I've got a bot that can access it and then try and make more money for me. So you can play with the bot. It runs just like the Ethereum blockchain, but you're not putting any money up. It's just running, and then you can tinker with your bot until you can get it to actually begin to earn money for you. And I have access to, theoretical $4.8 million of play money. So it's very interesting. It's kind of fun. And I just watch it every day and see what's going on and tinker with it and see if I can make this thing work. So you don't have to put up any money except for the education component and the time and effort that you put in. That's basically it. And why not do it now while the economy is so crazy and everybody's trying to figure out what to do? Learn for the future, get educated, save your money. That's what I'm telling my students right now.
All right, all right. Thank you, Professor, for that information. Please, if you can, stick around for the Q&A right at the end. And I hope you guys learned from that. He said a lot in a short amount of time. So much appreciated, Professor Sistrunk. So let's jump on in to our lesson for tonight. The previous 2 days, we talked about what is the blockchain, and we talked about what is cryptocurrency. So now that you understand the technology, and there's something that the professor said, I hope you guys picked up on. He said, what's bigger than the Bitcoin and crypto stuff is the blockchain, is the technology. This is a technological revolution. So don't dismiss. You just want to learn about Bitcoin and altcoins and that, but you don't have a grasp of the technology that makes it possible. So what we're going to talk about now tonight is, where do I buy this stuff? Where do I buy Bitcoin? Where do I buy cryptocurrency? And we're gonna keep this very, very simple tonight. And then the next 2 nights, we're gonna be really going about wallet security and why crypto security is so important. So let me share screen here. All right, here we go. Here. It's over here so I can see you guys. All right. So, where to purchase Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Here's some key points to consider when purchasing. And when I get to the Coinbase, I'm going to share some information because I did something today that I don't normally do with Coinbase, and I'll share with you my experience. But key points to consider. Number one, well, there are 3 points to consider when buying Bitcoin. Payment method. How are you paying for it? How are you going to buy it? Number two, what platform or venue are you going to use to make your purchase? And number three, where does it go after you buy it? Those are basic questions that the average person has. And understand here, it doesn't matter your level of education in this space. There's no such thing as a stupid question. We all have a beginning somewhere. So these are some of the most basic questions that people have when they start thinking about wanting to buy crypto. Let's talk about the payment methods. There's a range from credit cards to bank transfer, payment apps like PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. You can do face-to-face with cash, which I do not I do not advise anymore. That was real big, peer-to-peer, face-to-face with cash back in the day. I'm gonna try not to do that today. And even the barter system, but each payment method carries trade-offs in terms of convenience, privacy, and associated fees. Then you have to think about the platforms. There's different platforms and venues for buying Bitcoin include digital wallet providers, centralized spot exchanges, over-the-counter desks, which is private over-the-counter exchanges, services used primarily by high net worth individuals. No, Gemini, I'm not talking to you. Well, I don't know, my Gemini kicked in. Now, that is, Patty asked a question last night about how institutions that are used to playing around with the other forms of money we don't have access to, how are they doing it here? This right there. Private over-the-counter exchange services. So like BlackRock and VanEck, where they're having now partnership with Ripple's USD and combining with their own, but you have to be qualified to be able to play in that game. We don't have access to that. Peer-to-peer marketplaces, which are not as popular as they used to be because the rules and regulations in the United States dealing with, are you licensed or regulated to be what's considered a money marketer? So I kind of avoid these. And then even payment apps like PayPal. Of course, it's also possible to buy Bitcoin face to face. For example, you could give cash to your friend in exchange for receiving an agreed amount of Bitcoin. I do not suggest you do that for various reasons, which we'll talk about in security tomorrow night. And if somebody remember to ask me that question if I don't really hit on that, but there's a big reason why. As for where your Bitcoin goes after you buy it, here are the options. One, it can go to a Bitcoin wallet that you control. And a wallet that you control, we call that a non-custodial wallet. Nobody else has custody of those Bitcoin except you. Or into a Bitcoin wallet someone else controls. Now, that is like your bank. If you're working a 9 to 5 job and you have direct deposit, your money from your check goes straight to your bank account, but the bank is holding your money, not you. You're not getting the cash and keeping it in your house. Some people can do that, but most people like to use direct deposit and they put their money in a bank account. That is a centralized service. So a centralized cryptocurrency exchange or a payment app like PayPal. Remember we said yesterday, I want you to remember this, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. When you hold Bitcoin in a wallet that you control, is known as a non-custodial wallet. You never have to ask permission to use it. And this goes into what happened with me and Coinbase the past week, which I'll tell you in a second. This means you can receive your Bitcoin without waiting for a third party like a centralized exchange to approve the transaction. It also means you can send your Bitcoin wherever you want, whenever you want. By contrast, many custodial Bitcoin wallets impose severe restrictions on what you can do with your Bitcoin. For example, you may be asked to register an address before sending Bitcoin to it. Crypto.com is very good at that. If you don't have that address registered and saved, you're not going to be able to send crypto to that address. And you may be required to wait several days before allowed to make a withdrawal. In some cases, PayPal, for example, withdrawals of any kind are simply not permitted. I need to update that because they changed that now. It's also not uncommon to have your account frozen altogether. If you've been deemed a security or fraud risk, for example, you may be locked out of your own account with no recourse to action. The best non-custodial Bitcoin wallets also enable you to customize the network fee each time you send. This is not typical. In my, almost 9 years now in crypto, I have never needed to do this. But this means you can save money on transaction fees when you're not in a rush or pay more to send faster when you are. That was a big feature early on because there were a whole lot of network delays, blockages, the network was slowing down. So that was back in 2016, 17, 18. That's not an issue today. Perhaps most importantly, non-custodial wallets are more secure. As long as you maintain key management best practices, you'll never have to worry about getting hacked, nor will you be exposed to counterparty risks like a centralized exchange getting hacked or going bankrupt. Why do I need to verify my identity to purchase Bitcoin? Well, when you buy Bitcoin with government-issued currency, meaning, the money in your pocket, you're interacting with a regulated business. Such businesses must comply with KYC, which is Know Your Customer, and anti-money laundering AML regulations pertaining to the transfer of money. These regulations require the collection and storage of customer information, including identity documents and sometimes proof of address. Now, it depends on your jurisdiction. If you're doing business in the United States, you have to do this if you're buying from a U.S. exchange, KYC. What are the fees for buying Bitcoin? Fees for buying Bitcoin depend on the payment method and platform and venue used. For example, if you're buying directly from a friend and settling in cash, you'll only need to consider the network fee for sending the Bitcoin from your friend's digital wallet to yours, which can be pennies. If you're paying with a credit card or bank transfer, you'll of course need to factor in the fees for using those payment methods. Remember I told you what modern banking does? They charge you a fee for the privilege of holding your money. They charge you a fee when you put money in the account. They charge you a fee when you take money out of the account. There's always a fee. So if you're going to use a credit card or do bank transfer, not only do you have the network fee, but you're also going to have the fee that that bank or that credit card company or third party is charging you. Beyond that, exchange services charge additional fees for facilitating trades. These fees cover the exchange's operating costs plus a small margin. And these fees are little. They can be pennies or an average, maybe $1, $1.50 per trade, which is why those of you in our diamond class, we talk about making sure that you make sure your profit margin is such so it doesn't eat up the fees. Some of our members learned that the hard way early on. They're like, Brandon, I'm getting 1.5% a day, but it seems I have less money than I did before. Well, if you're trading with $100 and you get 1% profit, all you did was paid for the fee of that transaction. You charged the transaction fee when you made the purchase and when you made the sell. So you got to keep that in mind. The number one place that I recommend for beginners in the United States is Coinbase.com. I don't even like Coinbase.com, but I recommend it for a beginner. Why? Because it is very user-friendly and simple to set up, and they've gone through hellfire in the United States to be where they are today. The Coinbase is going to end up being one of the biggest companies in the world within the next 10 years. But they have KYC, they have AML, they're registered with the SEC, with the IRS. They've been sued. They've gone through all of the hiccups and the problems. And it's very, very rare that they ever have. The last time I remember them being hacked in any kind of way, they've had DDoS attacks, but they've never been hacked in a long time where they lost people where someone was able to steal their money. Plus, they have all of their user funds multi-sig backup. So even if they are hacked, your money is never going to be impacted. It was founded in 2011, based in San Francisco. They offer basically now every crypto that's out there that's available that they want to offer. So I recommend for a brand new person to start off using Coinbase. Now, saying that, I also recommend that you get educated. Coinbase may be your on-ramp, but Coinbase is not your only stop. You use Coinbase to purchase Bitcoin for the first time. And then what you want to do is send your crypto from Coinbase to another wallet. Do not use Coinbase to hold all of your crypto. Okay, let me repeat this. If you're building a crypto portfolio, Coinbase should not be your store of value where you're holding your crypto portfolio. It is just your onboarding for crypto. And in our later lessons, I talk more in detail about this. If you're going to dollar cost average, Coinbase is good to use because it is easy to set up your bank account. And when you want to withdraw at any time, it hits your account instantly. They're very good on tracking for tax purposes, and all the tax agencies are able to kind of connect with your Coinbase information. So for a beginner, yes, Coinbase. Now, here's a problem that I have, and I just was reminded why I don't like Coinbase long term. I have not bought crypto, out of my own money in a very, very long time. Outside of a dollar cost average, okay, but that's automatic setup, a certain amount every single month. I have number of tokens. You guys in the inner circle know which ones that I've been dollar cost averaging. And all I do is once it gets to a certain amount, I move that off of Coinbase into my private non-custodial wallet. But today, or a couple of days ago, actually last week, I made a large purchase of crypto for the very first time. I earn crypto. I make crypto. I trade crypto. I never had to buy it. But I bought it because it's part. I needed to use some for our one of our projects in the River of Money group, and you guys in the River of Money know what I'm talking about. So I made the purchase, and as soon as now I've been with Coinbase for so long, I'm what they may consider a verified user, where I think my limit is $50,000 a day that I can buy and sell and move around. When you first get start off, it might only be 1,000 or 5,000, but I'm verified. But I have not bought large amounts from Coinbase in a long, long time. So when I made this purchase, I immediately attempted to move it to the wallet I needed it to go to. Problem. It said, no, you need to wait 5 business days before you're going to be able to withdraw these funds. What? So I immediately was upset off of that. Then you guys in the inner circle saw me do something last week. It was before the Fed raised the interest rates, and I wanted to flip some money real quick on Solana. So you saw me swap some of that money into Solana, and I made a quick buck off of it. Well, yesterday, I attempted to move. I did the first half that was in Tether. That moved with no problem. Today, I attempted to move the second half that was in Solana. Problem, it said up front, this is still being pending for you for availability. Okay, I got an email from Coinbase that said, well, we need to verify who you are. So I verified who I was. I attempted to do the transaction. Okay. The transaction was still pending, and they had it pending for so long, the other side timed out. And then I get an email saying, okay, now it's gone through. We verified you again. What do you mean you verified me again? Now, this isn't me going back and forth with customer service. This is just them sending me messages and looking at the account. And then they say the funds went through, but the other side had timed out. So now I have to go through all these hoops with the other party, what the transaction has, the blockchain, so that they can see what wallet it went to, and then that's going to take another 24 hours. And I'm like, look, this is my money. I want to be able to have access to and do whatever I need to do immediately. Thank you, Coinbase, for reminding me why I tell people do not use Coinbase for your long-term holding of tokens, and also is not to be used for your day-to-day business activity if you're utilizing crypto. So once you join our community, we grow into, and if you purchase our crypto education courses, I talk about multiple different wallets that you use, and every wallet has a different purpose. I have a purpose for Coinbase. I was attempting to do something this past week that I normally don't use Coinbase for, and it was reminded why I don't do that. But it does have a purpose. So I still recommend Coinbase for a beginner, for somebody, especially if you're in the United States just getting started. All right. Buying Bitcoin from a centralized crypto exchange. Here's a typical flow for buying Bitcoin from an exchange. Visit a crypto exchange website like Coinbase Exchange, create an account, and verify your identity as required. Follow the website's instructions to buy your Bitcoin or other digital asset. Your Bitcoin will appear in your exchange account. If you'd like to take full control of your Bitcoin, send it from the exchange to your non-custodial wallet like Exodus Wallet. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one more thing too. I was watching the markets and I saw the fluctuation that Solana was doing, and I wanted to move it, change it out so I don't lose it. And because it was pending and frozen up, I was not able to do that, and I lost money on that because I had to sit on it and hold and wait. That kind of upset me. So I said, all right, mental note again, never use Coinbase for this. All right. So if you'd like to take full control of your Bitcoin, here's the wallet that I suggest you use after you've purchased it from Coinbase. Create an Exodus wallet and send to Exodus. Exodus is a non-custodial wallet. You don't need third-party permission for anything. And if you control it, you have your private key. It's a hot wallet, meaning that it is on connected to the internet, is not a cold storage wallet. But uh, if you follow the proper security measures and that we teach in education, you won't have an issue. I have never had an issue with Exodus, and I've been using them now for 8 years. Never had an issue with them. So that is one of my go-to wallets for after you've bought your crypto off of Coinbase, where you can store your crypto. Cryptocurrency wallets. The Bitcoin wallet is a software program where Bitcoins are stored. There's software wallets, web wallets, cold wallets, and hardware wallets. Now, because of technology is so good, your cell phone can be all of the above. Your cell phone could be a software wallet, it could be a web wallet, it could be a cold wallet, and a hardware wallet, all at the same time. Bitcoin wallets facilitate sending and receiving Bitcoins and gives ownership of the Bitcoin balance to the user. You say, well, I don't understand. What's a wallet? Well, what do you use a wallet for? To store your money. When I was a kid, I remember my grandpa used to always, when he visited us, he gave his grandkids quarters, nickels and dimes. I was the oldest, so I always got quarters. And my mom would always say, keep it in your pocket. My pocket was my first wallet because if you leave it laying around, one of your siblings or cousins can take your money. So I knew the value of keeping my money safe at an early age because I wanted to have money for the ice cream truck. As I got a little older in elementary school, my dad bought me a physical wallet and gave me one that looks kind of like this. And we knew that every time dad pulled out his wallet, that meant he was about to spend some money. So this represented money to us. Remember I talked about the river of money, how money changes over time, representations of money? A wallet does. And so I was at school, elementary school, I pulled out my wallet, all my friends were like, ooh. Now I didn't have any money in it, but we knew this was designed to store your money. Now I use like Ridge type wallets for credit cards, like these, or women have purses and you have wallet, you keep your money in your purse. Well, when you're dealing with crypto, you need to have a digital wallet. The wallet keeps your crypto safe and secure. That's where you're storing it. The Bitcoin wallet comes in many forms. Desktop, mobile, web, and hardware are the four main types of wallets. Think of it like the wallet in your pocket or purse. It holds your money. In this case, it holds your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency. So once you purchase your first Bitcoin from an exchange, you will have that Bitcoin in your wallet at that exchange. Therefore, each exchange also has a wallet system. But understand, not all wallets are the same. Just because you have a wallet on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Binance or Kraken or those, that just means you have access to it. You don't own the private key. They do. Just remember that. So at any time, your account can be frozen. So that's what's called a custodial wallet. But so each exchange has a wallet system. It is very common to have a number of wallets. Here's something else too. Most people don't have multiple physical wallets. You might have one. I remember my dad had one main wallet, and after he got worn down and tore up, my mom would buy him a new wallet and he'd go about his business. Now, women, you've got multiple purses, for style, not because you needed different wallets to hold your money, for style and fashion. In crypto, you can have more than one wallet. In fact, I encourage you to have many. I have more wallets than I can remember to count. And different wallets I use for different features. Here's a pop quiz to my inner circle. What wallet do we use if we're going to be doing day-to-day activities with different crypto projects that we may come across? Rita was the first. Utility wallet. Now, there is no wallet called utility. That is just the purpose of whatever wallet we choose. We use it as our utility. And I'll talk more about this when we talk about security over the next few days. A Bitcoin wallet is also referred to as a digital wallet. Establishing such a wallet as an important step in the process of obtaining Bitcoins. Just as Bitcoins are the digital equivalent of cash, a Bitcoin wallet is similar to a physical wallet. Again, the four main types of wallets are desktop, mobile, web, and hardware. A hardware wallet is also known as a cold storage wallet. It looks like a detachable hard drive and can be disconnected from the computer in your home and stored for safety. Many people prefer to use a cold storage wallet so their Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency are not exposed on the internet to hackers. Desktop wallets. Desktop wallets are installed on a desktop computer and provide the user with complete control over the wallet. Desktop wallets enable the user to create a Bitcoin address for sending and receiving the Bitcoins. They also allow the user to store a private key. My personal favorite desktop wallet is Exodus Wallet. Now, the private keys are very important. They actually can be used to restore your lost Bitcoin. So if you lost your computer, hardware, your hard drive crashed on you, does that mean you just lost all of your crypto? No. You can also always recover it with any wallet because you have the private keys to that wallet. So that is very, very important. I know a woman who lost $10,000 because one, she forgot her password, which is fine as long as you got your recovery phrase. And two, she didn't know where she wrote down her 10 word or 12 word seed phrase. And she was having a fit. She was calling me every name in the book. And she made it out that it was my fault. She said, all I know, Brent, you better get customer service on the line. I got to get my $10,000. I'm like, look, there's no customer service. You're responsible for your password. You're responsible for your private key. We teach this, but this was also an individual who never attended any of our trainings. She was the type, and I say this all the time with people that come to me and say, hey, Brandon, I got $50,000. What token should I buy? Well, where should I put it? The first thing I say is education first. They're like, yeah, but where should I invest? What token should I buy? I say, you're not understanding me. Education first. Because if you don't, and I let you go out there and you just buying crypto tokens and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it all eventually. May not be immediate, but eventually. People who have a lot of money and get into crypto for the very first time, they're the worst people for me to work with. They're the worst. They're not coachable. They don't want to learn. They figure, look, I made millions on my own. I don't need nobody telling. I got this. And just because you're an expert in one area doesn't mean that you're automatically an expert somewhere else. A lawyer is not going to all of a sudden go into the emergency room and you think, well, it's been 8 years post college grad to get my doctorate and everything and my law degree. Well, that doesn't mean that you can perform a surgery, but they're the most difficult for me to work with. But they also learn a hard lesson later on. They always come back, man, you was right. I should have done that. I should have listened to you guys and joined the community. So you can either learn the easy way or the hard way. One way or another, you're going to learn. That's what I always say. Mobile wallets. Mobile wallets overcome the handicap of desktop wallets as the latter are fixed in one place. Once you run the app on your smartphone, the wallet can carry out the same functions as a desktop wallet and help you pay directly from your mobile from anywhere. Thus, a mobile wallet facilitates in making payments in physical stores by using touch to pay via NFC scanning a QR code. Now, let me say this too. Because of technology, again, most desktop wallets also have a mobile app version, but not all of them do. And one individual, last month or the month before, we found out, learned the hard way. Him and his wife lost 7.4 Bitcoin. Why? He was using some desktop wallet that I'd never heard of before. and he was an expert. He'd been in crypto for longer than me. He had 7 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is worth $111,000 right now, you know what that value is. However, he said it himself. It was a little tedious doing business and things he needed to do with that desktop wallet. So he wanted to, have access on his mobile phone so that he can be on the go and do stuff. So I learned a couple of things. And when I first was in crypto, I had all mobile wallets on my phone. And I used to do a lot of mobile transactions. Now I try not to do any transactions crypto with my mobile device. I like the fact that it is only done in one location on my home computer. I got to treat this like a bank. Plus, there's a whole lot more money I'm dealing with now. So security wise, I am very security cautious, and I know my home computer has got all the security features, my VPN, everything set up where I'm not going to get got for my crypto with all of these scams and crimeware as a service and things going on out there. I don't trust the cloud. I don't trust my phone. I don't trust the Wi-Fi networks. None of that. What I do have is utility wallets that I use on my phone. So I only have crypto on my phone wallets that I'm using for specific purposes. I am not using any of my phone mobile apps to store my crypto. Okay, that is from personal experience. So what happened with this guy, he made a couple of mistakes. Number one, why in the world was he using his main wallet to do a whole bunch of business transactions? That's what a utility wallet is for. The second, he went and downloaded the mobile app. But guess what? They didn't have a mobile app. Scammers created a fake mobile app and they were able to get it through Apple security and on in the Apple store. It had less than a 1-star review and nothing but complaints on it that he completely ignored because he said these people just probably just don't know how to use the app. He downloaded the app, and when you have a mobile version of your desktop, it will always ask for you to either create a new wallet or import an existing wallet. So you click on import existing wallet. It says, now please enter your 12-word seed phrase. This is common. Same thing if if you had Exodus on your desktop wallet and you downloaded Exodus onto your mobile app, you can combine the wallets with the private key. So nothing was happening out of place for him. He inputs his 12-word seed phrase, and do you know what he just did? He gave his 12-word seed phrase to hackers. They immediately drained his main wallet of all those 7.4 Bitcoin. And he realized it later when he looked it up and that desktop wallet did not have a mobile version. Always do your homework too. So some desktop wallets can also be mobile wallets like Exodus. Other notable mobile wallets are Zango, Coinomi, Abra, Edge, Atomic Wallet, BRD, and Jax. Bread used to be one of my favorite wallets back in the day. When I was doing physical Bitcoin boot camps, I would give Bitcoin away at the events, and I'd have everybody download Bread, and then right there, I can give you some Bitcoin to everybody in the room. So I still have Bread on my wallet. I just don't really use that much. Web wallets. As for web wallets, they allow you to use Bitcoins from anywhere on any browser or mobile. The selection of your web wallet must be done carefully since it stores your private keys online. Coinbase and Blockchain are popular web wallet providers. Other useful web wallets are Crypto.com, Trust Wallet, Uphold, Luno Wallet, and Huobi. I will share the main wallets that I would recommend. I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving any type of financial advice. So I'm not talking about all the fancy brand new wallets that are coming out. There's always new wallets every 6 months. That's the next best thing that does the same thing as the old wallet does. It's just better features. I don't play with any of that new stuff. I like the tried and tested ones that I've always been using. So the ones that I publicly recommend is always Coinbase, Uphold.com, Exodus, Trust Wallet, Crypto.com, MetaMask, to a lesser extent, Clever. Those are seven. There are many other other wallets out there, but those are the ones that I know that if you follow the proper security measures, you'll be okay. And then, you got Ledger and Trezor if I want to talk about cold storage too. But we'll talk about the security side of this stuff next 2 days. Cold storage wallets. Bitcoin wallets are also available that you keep in your home, office, or vault. These are hardware wallets. These are most commonly referred to as cold storage wallets. They are unique in that if you keep up with your keys, which is numbers assigned to the Bitcoin when you load it on the wallet, you can retrieve your Bitcoin if you lose the wallet. Now, as a disclaimer, this information is intended for educational and training purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. As with all financial decisions, you should contact your licensed financial advisor before investing in any financial instrument. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of our 5-day challenge for day 3. We're now going to move into our Q&A side. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do something different because last month we did why crypto security is important. I think we already know that. So I'm going to skip and go to the next lesson in security. We're going to be talking about wallet security so that on Friday I can go to another security lesson that we did not do last month. So tomorrow night will be about wallet security and we'll go into details about some of the things that we're just talking about tonight. Those of you on YouTube, thank you guys for being here tonight. But unfortunately, this is where I got to stop the live stream. Our VIP members are the ones that will be privileged to stick around, and those are the ones that are on Zoom right now to be able to ask questions, a Q&A, not only to myself, but also to Professor Oscar Sistrunk, who has safely arrived home. I like that. So thank you guys on YouTube for being here with us for our third night. We invite you to join our inner circle, our VIP group. If you go to ILCA, what's Miss Casa post the link in that we've got many new links. But join our VIP, our inner circle, and you can be on the VIP side with us here. So with that, I will see you guys on YouTube back tomorrow night, same time. We're going to be talking about wallet security. The next 2 lessons is the most important lessons. It's one thing to make your money. It's something else to be able to keep it. And one of the worst feelings in the world is to, after years of you building your portfolio, and you make one simple mistake, one bad click, one you weren't paying attention, and you lose your entire life savings. That's a whole nother feeling. And that has happened to thousands of people. Education is key. Education is everything. Don't miss